Welcome to Quartz Smart Investing. I'm Merrill Brow. Our guest today is Lou Basanese, President and Chief Market Strategist at Public Ventures. Lou, happy to have you back.
Good to be here again, Merrill.
It's a difficult, dangerous world and a challenging stock market now, yet there's hope, you think, for a Santa Claus rally next month. And we've just ended the stock market's best week. What's going on here?
Well, I think you got to bring on the presents, right? I think this time of year, you typically see a lot of tax loss selling that leads to depressed prices artificially. But more importantly, this time around, I think you've seen souring sentiment. And then also you've seen the Fed. The Fed has been in the way, right? Stocks do not love rising interest rate environments. And I think most people think the Fed's done. I still think we have one more hike to go at this December 12th, 13th meeting. And once they get out of the way, you see the correlation with riskier assets really is very strong with treasury yields. So once we get a pause, I think investors have been waiting for that certainty. Is Powell going to be done once and for all? We don't have that answer yet, but I think we're really close. And I think that will combine itself with just the seasonality of people coming back to buy into those stocks that they sold for tax losses and just have this nice period where a relief rally. We started to see it in larger cap technology companies, particularly after the last Fed meeting. I think we'll see it really in earnest as we kind of close out this year and head into 2024.
You mentioned in passing souring sentiment, and it's clear that lots of people on Wall Street are very negative right now, and yet you think that creates opportunity.
It does. I mean, there's a great quote from Humphrey Neal: when everyone thinks alike, everyone's likely wrong. And that's just the way market psychology works. I mean, you see people, even analysts, starting 2023 were very negative about the S&P 500 this year, expected a big bear market pullback, and it took 6 months of, I mean, we had the best 6 month start to the year ever. And now analysts came around, and now they've started to sour again. So if you just look at the latest Bank of America survey and then just allocations to equities, you see that just a lot of investors are underweight and very pessimistic. And as a contrarian, that's a key pivot point that you want to focus on. You got to, obviously there could be some more downside, but there's less downside ahead than we've experienced, in my opinion.
You also think there's another Fed hike coming in mid-December, and you're running against the grain on that one too. Why?
I am running against the grain. I've been against the grain for the whole year. A lot of investors thought the Fed would be done 2 or 3 hikes ago. I'm not alone now in this thinking, though. JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon actually came out after the last Fed meeting and said he thinks a lot of investors think the Fed is done, but there's a probability of anywhere from 25 basis points to 75 basis points of additional hikes to come that people aren't considering. He was clear to disclaim that he's not predicting that, but he said it could happen because the Fed doesn't want to stop too soon. If you look back at history, in the 1970s, right, you saw inflation come down and then reaccelerate. And I think that's the fear that's in the back of the Fed's head, is that if they stop too soon, that you're going to see inflation reaccelerate. And we're starting to see some of those inflationary pressures pick up again, particularly in the commodities market.
So all that says a good positive late December.
Late December, and then the Fed gets out of the way for an election year. I don't think they like to intervene in those election years.
Next, Lou Basanese on why he thinks there's a great opportunity in microcap stocks that's right around the corner.